Respecting Yourself, a la Schmuck. Mortimer Poindexter III. This kid is one of a kind. Glasses with lenses so thick you could serve fillets on him. Hair that doesn't look like it's been washed since, shampoo was invented. And a wardrobe obviously selected by his mother. Bad acne, and a bow-legged gait, and a lisp to boot. He must be absolutely miserable, poor guy. Especially since Mike hikes a lot, the star quarterback with an IQ that he wears on his jersey, makes it his business to torture Mortimer daily. And why does he do it? Who knows? Maybe his parents didn't compliment him enough when he was little. Maybe it makes him feel better about himself to make others feel like dirt. Well, whatever the no good reason, the fact is that he does do whatever he can to keep a geek down. And yet, for some reason, Mortimer always seems happy. The outer superficial stuff doesn't even seem to bother him somehow. Even Mike's insults tend to roll right off his back as if they don't bother him at all. How is that possible? Well, it's possible because Mortimer respects himself. He respects the fact that he works and studies hard and earns all those A's that litter his report cards. He respects the fact that he has a kind and loving family who've instilled in him the value of honesty, generosity, and integrity, which he exhibits in all aspects of his life. He respects his determination to make the most of himself and not let jerks like Mike Hikes-a-Lot bring him down. And here's the thing, he's not in denial. He's set on achieving the vision he has for his own life, and as long as he stays on that path, there's no reason for him not to respect himself. So okay, he puts up with Mike's ribbing, literally, on occasion, for 4 years of high school. Then he's out. Mike is no longer a part of his life, and good riddance. Mortimer takes those stellar grades of his and uses them to get into a top-notch university, majors in bioengineering, and contributes to advancements in related technology that eventually result in his lab finding the cure for cancer. Mike who? So yeah, now Mortimer's winning all kinds of awards, has earned global recognition, and is saving millions of lives, and is just as down-to-earth and kind-hearted as ever. In other words, he's pretty much carved out the perfect life for himself, not because he surrounded himself with a bunch of shallow friends, or was ever deigned cool by anyone, but because he succeeded in everything he did by remaining true to his purpose, and by respecting himself. Yeah, it worked. One day, Mortimer runs into Mike at the airport. Mortimer's on his way to Sweden to pick up another Nobel Prize. Well, Mike's misplaced priorities have caught up with him. He's no longer considered cool by really anyone. Because when you're 45 years old, you haven't been able to make a marriage work, you haven't been able to hold down a good job, and no one who meets you thinks much of you. It's not really considered cool. Well, Mike still has better skin than Mortimer. He dresses a little better, and yeah, he can still throw a football. But none of that stuff really matters. And that hits Mike just as he's about to make some joke about Mortimer's hair, and then he realizes who it is. And realizes that he owes that geek his life since, well, that geek helped him beat cancer last year. Mike somehow refrains from insulting the longtime object of his torment, and yeah, now that's some mad respect.